Glenn here from Final Draft Mapping, and in this video we are going to use ArcPy to select points in a point layer if that point intersects a defined number of polygons in another layer. Let's check out the workflow. Up top we are importing ArcPy. We are also going to use the collections module from the standard Python library and import the counter class. This will help us to count the intersections. We have three user inputs. A point feature class from which we want to perform the selection if a point intersects a number of user-defined polygons in another layer. Therefore, we need the polygon layer, and we also need to define the number of intersections for the point to be considered for selection. We have one required object. We need the object ID field for the point feature class so we can perform the selection. Straight into it, we perform the intersection using the Pairwise Intersect Geoprocessing tool. Our input features are the point feature class and the polygon feature class from the parameters above. We're going to use the memory workspace to hold the output from this Pairwise Intersect tool. So we set the out feature class to be memory/intersect FC. For the join attributes, we are only going to join on the FID. We don't want any other attributes returned. And the output type will be point. The attribute table for this output feature class will have a field that contains the original object ID for points that intersect each polygon. Therefore, we can have an object ID multiple times for each intersection, and we want to count those to see how many intersections there were for that point. So first up, we get a list of all the OIDs that intersect the polygons. We'll add those to a variable called OID list. Here we are using list comprehension. So for each row returned from the ArcPy search cursor on our in-memory intersect feature class, and we're using all the fields, we only want the field at index 2, which is the original object IDs for our point feature class. We then use the counter class and feed in our OID list. This counter class is going to return a dictionary. This dictionary will have a key of the object ID and the number of times it was present in the OID list. So the value will be the count of that OID. We'll assign that dictionary to a variable called counts. We then use set comprehension here for each object ID in our object ID list. If the count for that object ID is greater to or equal to the threshold number, then we return that object ID. We will then have a set of object IDs to perform a selection on, and we'll assign that set to a variable called selection OIDs. All that's left to do now is to select those features in the map. So if our selection OIDs has an entry, we're going to create a where clause with this SQL expression, and here we'll state the object ID in a list of the object IDs to select. For this string formatting, the object ID field name will go in here for this placeholder 0, and a list of our object IDs are going to go in here at placeholder 1. That is what's happening here with this join statement. We cannot join text to the string, so we convert each OID to a text value to create our where clause. We then use the select layer by attribute tool. Our in layer, our view, is the point feature class from the input. It is a new selection type, and our where clause is the SQL expression above. If no OIDs meet the criteria, then a warning is displayed: no point met the criteria. It is good practice to clean up the memory workspace, so we will delete our in-memory intersect feature class. Let's pop on over to ArcGIS Pro. Here I'm in ArcGIS Pro. You can see I already have this tool created. I'm going to go to the properties. We can see I have named it here. We've given it a label of select points that intersect multiple polygons. If I check the parameters, we have our input point layer, which is a feature layer, and it is a point. We have our input polygon layer, another feature layer, and it's filtered to just be a polygon. And then we have points intersects this number or more, which is going to be a number. And then for the execution, you click on this folder icon over here on the right hand side and you select the Python script to use for the tool. I'll click OK and let's see this tool in action. I'll open up the tool. My input layer is my points feature class, and I'm going to use the buffers as the polygon, and I want to select where it intersects 2 or more polygons. I'll click run and we can see those highlighted in the map. I'll run it again, but I'm going to turn off this selection here. I don't want to use the selection, I want to use the entire layer, and I'll set this to 6 and run. And we can see there is a bunch there that intersect 6 polygons. I'll run again and put in 10. Click run. We can see we get a warning. No point met the criteria. ArcPy is excellent for using the geoprocessing tools in ArcGIS Pro and also creating custom geoprocessing tools on top of those, as we just saw here. You'll find the code in this video over on our blog with a link underneath this video. We also have courses for ArcPy over on our website, and the links are also below. If you found this workflow useful, please leave a comment below, and please go check out some of our other videos.